Yo guys, once again welcome back to another video, and once again I'm pretty late with this video. I don't know why this happens to me, but who cares. So this time we're going to be looking at the last character of patch 1.3, the 4-star character Lynx, a really cute and interesting character who is also one of my most anticipated character of this patch. Her kit tackles one of the most crucial jobs for defensive support, which puts her quite above other abundance characters like Bailu and Natasha. Not Luocha of course, cause he's like kinda broken. But anyways, in this video, as usual, we're gonna be looking at her kit, her Eidolons, and also discussing some builds and team synergies. I will be focusing on her value as a 4-star, cause like her kit is pretty straightforward. Honestly, I don't expect this video to be that long, but still, hope you stick till the end. With that, I'm Sho, and this is my pre-release analysis for Lynx. So Lynx is going to be a 4-star quantum character following the path of abundance. And as the name says, she's a defensive support, and in my opinion, one of the better ones to come so far. Apart from just standard healing, she has a lot of cleanse in her kit, and I mean a lot of cleanse. She also has a unique mechanic which can increase a character's aggro value. Looking at her kit, her basic attack is the same old, deals a bit of quantum damage to a single enemy. As for her skill, it's a single target ability. When she uses her skill, she applies a buff called a survival response to an ally, which heals the ally and increases their max HP based off her own max HP. Now it seems a simple skill, but the interesting thing is that if the target ally is either a destruction or a preservation character, she will increase their chance of getting hit. This buff lasts for 2 turns. Now after reading the skills, I can already see some great synergies with Blade and Clara. Both characters prefer to get hit because of their follow-up attack mechanic. Also, one of her Eidolons gives immunity to the character with survival response for 1 turn. I'll be discussing more on the Eidolon section. Moving on to her ultimate, she dispels 1 debuff from all allies and restores their max HP based on her own max HP. Now this is huge for me, especially as a 4-star. Cleanse is already such a great ability to have with so many debuffs running in MOC and also in other content like the Similar Universe, especially the Deer boss. Like that boss is so annoying, literally taunts the whole team, but with her, we can expect some change. As for the healing, it's nothing special, but it gets a lot better with her talent. Her talent makes it so that when using Lynx's skill or ultimate, she applies continuous healing to the target ally for 2 turns. Continuous healing is kind of a buff that heals the character at the start of each turn. Now if the target already has survival response, the continuous healing effect additionally restores HP based on Lynx's max HP. Now this talent makes her skill and ultimate so much better. First time when I looked at her kit, I first thought she might be lacking in the healing department, but with the help of her talent, she can provide consistent healing to all the characters. And also, if you use her skill on a character and then follow up with her ultimate, the character whom she used her skill will have increased healing. Great for characters with low HP, cause like with a skill, she increased the aggro of the character, which will result in them getting hit more. So having that bonus heal from her talent helps a lot. Lastly, after Lynx uses her technique, at the start of the next battle, all allies are granted the continuous healing effect from her talent for 2 turns. Pretty good, I'd say. It's like Luocha's technique. Alright, now let's move on to her passives. Her first passives makes it so that after a target with survival response is hit, Lynx regenerates 2 energy immediately. That's a great passive. I think a lot of new characters are having energy regeneration passives. Characters like Luocha and Daniel also had one if I remember, which really helps getting their ultimate back, which is especially great for a character like Lynx, who has a great ultimate. Her second passive increases the chance to resist crowd control debuff by 35%. Now it's not as good as Luocha, who had like 70% chance to resist crowd control debuffs, but it still helps. As for characters whose main role is to cleanse their team, you don't want that character to get crowd control herself. Her last passive extends the duration of the continuous healing effect granted by the talent for 1 turn. Now this is actually great. With this, her continuous healing effect will now last for 3 turns, which is insane. Like if she is built high speed, by the time the duration ends, she should have her ultimate back. As for her stat bonuses, they are also great, giving her defense, a lot of HP, and some much needed effect rest. Now after looking at her whole kit, it doesn't look that complex or unique, but even with a simple and straightforward kit, in my opinion, she's one of the better abundance characters. Cleanse is such a high value ability to have. Previously, like before the release of Luocha, there were only 2 healers, Bailu and Natasha. Bailu being a 5-star obviously had better heal, but still players preferred Natasha over Bailu because of the cleanse in her skill. And of course, after Luocha got released, he totally demolished every other abundance character with his insane kit. But with this kit, Lynx probably is going to be the closest alternative to Luocha if you didn't put him in his banner. Well, that said, just getting the character won't solve all the problems. We have to build them. And just as her kit design, Lynx is pretty straightforward and easy to build. Similar to other standard healers, the only stat you want to focus on are speed, HP, and effect rest. As such, I'm going to be recommending 2 builds, one that's going to be the best in slot and the second one as an alternative if you don't have the required sets. For 4-piece sets, the best is going to be the messenger set, giving her and her team speed, which is like the most important stat in a turn-based combat system. But if you don't have that, the alternative is going to be the musketeer set. I know it increases attack, but what I'm more focused on is the speed that you get from the 4-piece set. Speed as a stat is more important to supports than damage dealers. That's why these two sets in my opinion are gonna be the best. Now you guys might be thinking about the healing bonus set. Yeah, you can use it if you have a spare set laying around, but I wouldn't recommend it. The 2-piece is decent, but the 4-piece set bonus is garbage to me. That one extra skill point at the start of the battle isn't gonna make that much of a difference. But still, a 2-piece combo of the healing set and the messenger set can be a great option as well. As for the ornaments, again there are two options. The best is gonna be the broken kneel set, giving her some much needed effect rest and can give a crit damage buff to her entire team, which is crazy value. But if you don't have good pieces of it, then the next best option is gonna be the Fleet of the Ageless set. It increases HP and gives attack buff to the entire team. I won't recommend anything else, as these sets provide too much value to not use them, and by now you probably have at least some pieces of Ageless sets. Now for the main stats, you want outgoing healing bonus or HP percentage on the body. You always want speed on the boots, HP percentage on the sphere, and either HP percentage or energy regen on the rope. As for substats, you want to focus on getting speed, HP percentage, and effect rest in that order. Alright, after that, let's talk light cones. Well, I don't think that I even need this segment. You can literally use any abundance light cone on her and it would be fine, except for maybe Luocha's light cone, because like it gives a lot of attack. And if you have Luocha's light cone, why would you use that on Lynx? Just put that on Luocha. He's crazy good. But apart from that, her best light cone choice is gonna be Bailu's light cone, giving her a lot of HP and healing bonus, as well as some damage based on the amount of healing. This is literally her best in slot, but you don't have to fret over it if you don't have it, because like all the 4 stars are great for her. Post of conversation and shared feelings are great for getting a lot of energy, whereas perfect timing is great if you need a lot of effect rest. Quit Pro is gonna be the least recommended, as it's pretty random, but if you don't have any other options, then it can be a good alternative. And if you are one of those guys who has the battle pass, then the battle pass light cone will provide the most healing as a 4-star. So TLDR, use whatever you have and it's gonna work just fine. Alright, another segment that seems unnecessary, team comps. Well, Lynx is an abundance character. As such, you can use her wherever you need a strong cleanser and healer. If your Luocha is already occupied in another team, then just pick Lynx for the second team. She can do most of what Luocha provides, so just pick her wherever you want. The most synergy that I can see is going to be with destruction characters like Blade. She increases max HP, which is like damage to him, and she will increase Blade's chance to get hit, which he really appreciates. But still, the most likely team players are going to be using her will be the Mono Quantum team with Fushuan, Silver, and Sealer. Well, if you don't know about the Mono Quantum team, then you can check out my Fushuan analysis video. There I talked a lot about that team. But in short, that team abuses Silver Wolf's skill that can apply weakness to the enemy based on the number of elements on the body. And since the team is all quantum, Silver will always put the quantum weakness, and as a result can tackle any content regardless of the elemental weakness of the enemy. And Lynx is going to be used as a defensive support in that team. If you have Sealer and Silver and are planning to pull for Fushuan, then you can check that team out. The whole player base is already going crazy about it, and it's a fun team to try. Finally, after all that, we have reached the segment that's kinda not unnecessary, the Eidolons. Well, she's a 4-star, so getting more than one copy of her is not that unlikely. And if you're going for Fushuan, then you might end up with some extra copies of her anyways. So let's discuss which one are the best for you. Her E1 increases Lynx's outgoing healing by 20% when the healing ally with HP equal to or lower than 50%. This effect also works on continuous healing. Increased healing, pretty good. Her E2 gives immunity from any debuffs to the target with survival response for 1 turn. That means her skill. So not only she cleanses but also applies immunity. Pretty sick. Her E3 and E5 levels up her traces as usual. Her E4 is one of my favorite. When survival response is gained, increase the target's attack by an amount equal to 3% of Lynx's max HP for 1 turn. Now with this, she can act as a buffer for the team. And lastly, her E6. Additionally, boost the max HP, increase effect of survival response by an amount equal to 6% of Lynx's max HP, and increase effect rest by 30%. It's not that impressive based on the previous ones, but still good. Overall, I'd say that the initial ones are better, especially her E2 and E4. So if you're planning for more copies, then reaching those thresholds can be a great choice. Well, there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the newest 4-star healer, Lynx. Overall, she's a great character, better than the likes of Natasha and even Bailu in my opinion. So I highly recommend everyone to get at least one copy of her. Having a strong cleanser in your account is going to help you in the long run, and her Eidolons unlocks her potential in a sort of a buffing role as well. So overall, it's a great pickup. But with that, thank you very much for watching. If you found this video helpful, drop a like and subscribe for more Star Rail and Genshin content from yours truly. And do tell me about your plans. Will you be pulling for her or Fushuan? Let me know in the comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in my next video.